My girlfriend wanted to open our relationship, and I reluctantly agreed. Now I'm having the time of my life, and she doesn't seem so happy. So me and my girlfriend are both 23 and have been dating for 4 years now. She had an ex before me, but she is my first in everything. Well, 6 months ago, she said she was looking into having an open relationship, and it would be good for the two of us to get some experience that way so we wouldn't get bored of each other. I was very against the idea, but she said there was no other option for her. And I didn't want to lose her, so I agreed. We made the rule that we'd tell each other who and when we were hooking up with others. And after 2 days of this starting, she went and slept with her ex. I was kinda sad, and to lift my spirits, my friends took me to a club. We danced and enjoyed there, and joined a girl group. One of them started grinding on me, and I took her number. We met up later at my place and were intimate, and it was so much better. My girlfriend is what one would call a pillow princess. She'll close her eyes and do her best not to moan, just kinda lay there and take it, and it has made me uncomfortable, so our bedroom life has dropped. But this girl was wild. She moaned like crazy and really made me feel like she enjoyed me. I told my girlfriend about her, and she just sent a thumbs up emoji and a text that she'd be hooking up with her ex again. It was weird, and it did click to me that she just wanted to mess around with her ex, but I was also having fun and didn't want to close up again. I was feeling confident, handsome, and attractive for the first time in a while, and I realized that she never actually made me feel that way. We've started seeing each other less and less. We went from hanging out daily for the first 3 years of our relationship to 4 times a week and eventually to once a week. One day, we were out at the mall together, and she stopped at a store to try out some clothes. I ran into a friend of mine in the store, and we started chatting and openly flirting, and it ended with her telling me that she hoped we could meet again soon, in front of my girlfriend. I think on that day she changed a bit. She stopped sending me texts, telling me who she was hooking up with, and she said it was because she wasn't hooking up with anyone anymore. We started spending more time together because she wanted to. She started initiating more and started trying out new stuff and generally being more affectionate. I knew this was love bombing, but I enjoyed it, so I didn't really do much. I still took advantage of the open relationship and would still go out to have fun, and this started irking her. She asked me why I was still with others now that she was giving me all the attention I wanted, and she insinuated that I wanted to cheat on her, which is why I agreed to the open relationship, to which I said I was the reluctant one, and she brought it up. She said she regretted it, and she only had one partner, and realized he wasn't as good as I was, so she ditched him, and now she wants to close the relationship again. I told her what she was like in bed, and how I felt terrible around her before, and opening up our relationship brought back my confidence. She started crying and hugged me, and said she didn't know that, and she'd make up for it with me, and asked me if I was going to leave her. I said it had crossed my mind, but I thought not to. She cried harder, then fell asleep, and I realized that I really don't want to close this relationship. I've been feeling attractive and desired for a while now, and I really enjoy it. She has said she'll do her best to make me feel like that, and said that she loves me and doesn't want me to leave her, and she's also changed a bit, complimenting me and stuff, which makes me feel a bit better. I am actually willing to close the relationship, but I would need a guarantee that she won't go back to being what she was, which I don't really have. So, here I am. Do you guys think it's best to close the relationship? Should I even stay in this relationship? Will she go back to being what she was?
Update.
So after making my post, I saw that breaking up was my best option. Not just because I didn't want to close the relationship, but also because she had lied and manipulated me and was very likely doing it again in the form of love bombing. I didn't want to be the crappy guy who breaks up over text. I also didn't want to risk her changing the narrative to paint me in a bad light. So I decided to meet her in a public restaurant with a friend of hers as a reliable witness, so she wouldn't be able to slander me later. We were supposed to meet day before yesterday, but something came up and me and her friend forgot about the date. I arranged for a makeup meeting yesterday, keeping everything the same. Well, yesterday I arrived at the restaurant and she was already sitting there. She cheerfully waved at me, but her face went from confusion to shock to sadness when she saw I had brought her friend with me. She asked me what the friend was doing there. I said she was just here to verify what happens here at a later date if necessary. She just tilted her head a bit. Well, I told her I was done with her, and not in a good way. I told her off for the manipulation, the clear desire to cheat without having a guilty conscience, and the fact that she thought I wouldn't be able to get anyone. She got defensive and started crying and said it wasn't like that. But I interrupted her and said that that was exactly what it was like, and I knew that she had been fooling around with her ex before we opened the relationship. I didn't really know that, and it was a shot in the dark, but it hit its mark. She completely broke down sobbing and said she was sorry and was confused at the time. She said she didn't want to lose me and tried to get me to remember the good times we had. All that did for me was show me how long back our relationship had actually died, and I just said that to her. There was more crying. She said she'd change. I said I hoped she did for the next guy she would be with, but it wouldn't be with me. She said to me that she would keep the relationship open and wouldn't be with anyone if that was the problem. I said that our relationship ended as soon as she asked to open it. I just didn't know it at the time. She was bawling, and people's eyes started coming over to our table. I just said that I'd return her stuff within a few days and left while she was face down on the table, her friend consoling her. So yeah, I'm done. For the first time in 4 years I'm single, and for the first time in a year or so, I don't feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I'm gonna follow the majority of the advice given to me and enjoy my youth. I won't be actively hunting for a relationship for a while, but if the right one comes along, then lucky me. Thanks everyone who took time to write comments. Thanks to the people that DM'd me, except that one asshole, you know who you are, and provided valuable advice. I did get a blast of messages and calls from my ex, begging for another chance. I thought it'd be satisfying to see it, but honestly, it was just sad. I ignored the messages, left my phone at home, and went to a friend's place to hang out without having to ask her if she's cool with it. I'm really gonna enjoy being single.